Alright guys, welcome back. What we're looking at now here is we are in tray left. Okay, we're in tray left. The play here that we're about to run is drop flies. Drop flies. Drop flies is super easy. Everybody's going to run vertical. Okay, everybody's just running a fly. Alright, I'm going to play through it here so that you're able to get a look at what it looks like. Nice and easy, everybody's flying. And we're just trying to get vertical. So basically it's 4 verticals, okay? How do we know it's tray left? Tight end here to the left, okay? H and Z outside of him. And remember again, H, it's a 3-by-1 situation. 3 receivers to the left, 1 receiver to the right. X, you're over here because X goes away from the call all the time, okay? H and Z in the 3-by-1, you go with the call. 99% of the time. Okay? So we have tray left, drop flies. Now, a few coaching points. X, you're going to try to get outside release here, and you want to get towards that sideline. Okay? You want to work away from the safety. What we want to do with our Y, okay, now in the game here, they don't run it quite the way I'd like it. I'd like for him to be angling all the way across right now. Okay, if you notice here, the Y gets upfield about 15 yards before he works his way to the opposite hash. Okay, so if the Y is near this hash, we want him working to this opposite hash. But I want you working to that opposite hash right now. And the reason I want you working to that opposite hash right now is because I want to put this safety, there'll be a safety back here. I want to put him in a bind. Is he going to cover up on top of X? Or is he going to hold to the middle and wait for the Y to come across? Okay. More often than not, he'll double team here on the X, and the Y will be open right on that hash where we throw it for a touchdown here. Now, our number 2, our H over here to the opposite side. Again, we want to make sure that we're bowing out a little bit and then bending back in. You'll notice that he starts outfield and then bends in. He gets on the play side hash here. Okay, so we want to be off that hash. Again, that creates space. The safety's now going to make a decision. Is he going to play in between, over the top of number 2, or over the top of number 1? Okay, so we really want to make sure that we're putting our safeties in a bind. That's why we run drop flies the way that we do, with the X working the sideline, the Z working the sideline. Our Y is working opposite hash, and our H, he's going to work on the hash as well. When we work those hashes like that, we're making it really difficult on the defense. We put pressure on the defense on the back end, right? The safeties are typically going to play the deep part of the field, and so we want those safeties to make a decision. The times that we'll run drop flies, if we're getting any type of cover 2 or man coverage, be prepared to see, or be prepared for me to call some drop flies. It beats man-to-man coverage. It will also beat cover 2 very easily. But it only beats cover 2 if we're working those hashes with Y and H, okay? And X and Z. You know, if you notice this X here, he's inside these numbers quite a bit. I want you guys at the top of the numbers, okay? That would mean right on this number. Kind of like Z to the left there, he's on the top of the numbers. By being on top of the numbers, what he does is he forces the defense to cover more of the field. Okay, field is 53 1/3 yards wide. When we run drop flies, we want to make the defense cover deep, and we want them to cover wide, 53 1/3 wide. Okay, so this is drop flies. It's pretty simple. You'll notice here that the back, this running back comes out of the backfield on kind of a under route here, if you will. We don't run that unless we call it. Okay, so if I wanted that running back on that route, I'd call drop flies T under. Okay, and T under would look like that. But we keep our running back in particular in drop game. We keep our running back in the block. Pick up any blitzing linebackers or anything like that. So we just want, when we hear drop flies, we have 4 verticals, and we want to work the hashes. Okay, so we run this. I'll show it to you here. out of a 2x2 set, okay? And out of a 2x2 set, it's still going to work just the same. When we run drop flies out of a 2x2 set, ultimately, the only difference is now you're both working, H and Y are both working the hash from separate angles, okay? So if this were Y, if we're in spread right, if you notice the routes as they show it, he's working his way to that hash, and H is working his way up the left hash there, okay? So it's the same play, nothing changes, okay? So if we look at this replay here, okay, X is, or I'm sorry, if this is Y, he's on the ball, Z's off the ball. Z's running vertical here. Y is gonna bow it out around this outside defender, and he's gonna get back to that hash. H is gonna work it outside and get back to the hash, and then X is gonna be working down the field. Okay. So drop flies, whether it's out of 2x2 or whether it's out of a 3x1, it's the exact same play. The only difference is Y no longer has to work to the opposite hash. Y just works to the hash, the near hash. Okay. So in a 2x2, H and Y are both going to work the hash nearest to them. In a 3x1, Y has to know that he's got to get across the field to pull that weak side safety, put that weak side safety rather into a bind. So again, that's drop flies. We'll be back shortly with some more of our drop game.